Hello everybody, welcome to part 22 of Dark Souls with Funzyr. Last episode we went and we stole the Titanite slab from Calamite, and he flew past when we were at the top of the waterfall. I strongly urge newer players not to fight him until they're very confident in their skills. It's a tough fight. I won't be doing that fight in this playthrough. I'm more concentrating on things that the beginning player needs to do just to get through the game. Different tricks and tips. But I am going to go up here and we're going to talk to Goff. He's got a little bit of an event for us.
Hello. Is Black Dragon posing the duress?
We'll answer yes to this.
Yes, I thought as much. He's called Calamite. A ferocious dragon indeed. Even mighty Anna Londa dared not provoke his ire. I see little good coming from this, but thy intent is to persevere to the bitter end.
Yes, it is.
Good, good. What is bravery without a dash of recklessness? I've taken a liking to thee, and I owe thee much for thy service to Artorias. Now, watch, and see how Goth hunts dragons. Yes. A truer shot was never loosed. That bat will be grounded for a good spell. The rest is in thine hands. I await good tidings. Ah, dragon slaying. Knighthood's highest calling.
So if we did want to fight Calamite, we would want to do that event. That way, Calamite can't fly around and escape us when we're fighting him. If you fight him, he gives a decent amount of souls. You can cut off his tail for a really good weapon. He also drops the Calamity Ring, which causes you to take double damage. So, again, a lot of players who have who do challenge runs will try to fight him just to get that ring. But from here, we're going to go and we're going to port to Undead Parish and then run to the door that we opened with the crest, where we got the Black Bow of Ferris. So we're going to head there. I'm going to cut out that run back. Okay, here we are. We're at the door, and we're going to go in. We're in human form, so we're playing the game offline right now, because if you're in human form and you enter the forest down here, you're just begging to be invaded and to PvP. As you can see, those 20 levels plus upgrading our weapons make these guys a joke at this point. We'll come back and fight them. There are Well, there's one item in particular that I want to get over here. and there are a lot of these tree ants in the area, so we're gonna just take our time and kill just a few at a time. Because otherwise they can get tough when they swarm you. The secret really to this game is just try to be patient, take your time, don't rush anything. Use your ears and you can hear them running around. They did a great job with that. And of course you can farm these guys for your moss clumps if you need them. Oh, he moved on me, huh? Alright, one left. Alright, I wanted to go over here and get this eastern armor. Also, we are in the Way of White still. We're going to actually change that here in a moment. Just because we want to meet a couple of NPCs that you can only meet when you're in the Covenant. What we're going to do is we're actually not going to fight these guys right now. We're just going to sprint through them. And then by doing that, when we come in here, we'll talk to Alvina.
Is it not so that thou...
And that will reset them all.
Thou fared well to find me, but cometh thee not for the grave of Sir Artorius? My advice true. Forget this. The legend of Artorius art none but a fabrication. Traversing the dark. 'Tis but a fairy tale. Have thine own respect. Go not yonder knocking for nothing, I say.
We're going to choose yes for this.
Well, indeed, thou art a strange one. Nevertheless, I feel some liking for thee. I'm Alvina of the Darkroot Wood. I command a clan of hunters who track down defilers of the forest graves. What dost thou say? Wilt thou not join us? Oh, yes, I believe we would suit thee well.
So yes.
I am very glad. And now thou art one of us. Let us establish a covenant.
So we just abandoned the Way of White Covenant, and we established the covenant with the Forest Hunters.
And here taketh this ring. If thou wearest that ring, it allows for thine summoning. If mine senses reveal intruders, then I will summon thee. Fend them off, sir. I beseech only this. I shall summon others who will, by their honor, work tirelessly with thee. Thou shalt receive great reward, and whatsoever ye shall pillage will be thine own. A true agreement, not so? But thou must heed the golden rule. The clan is thine own family. To thine kinsmen forever stay true. Darest not in any attempt to double-cross. Have no doubt, such wretchedness never will we tolerate.
So basically, you can put that ring on anywhere in the entire game, and you'll be summoned to the forest if somebody is in human form and in this area. anywhere past that door all the way up until we get to the boss. It doesn't matter if they've beaten the boss or not. You'll be summoned to fight them. Other people will also be summoned to fight them. This is an area that's big, really big for PvP. We'll not worry about that right now. We might play with it later, but honestly I don't like PvP, so it's pretty doubtful. But here are two of the NPCs. We wanted to talk to them. This guy in particular.
I've heard all about you. I'm Shiva of the East, captain of the brigade. Let's teach you the clan basics now, as there's no time to chat in the midst of fighting. Except there is little in the form of rules, you hear. Fight and hunt as you like. Whoever's fastest gets the prey. That's the way we do it. Only, don't forget what Arvina said. Traitors aren't given a second chance, for any reason. That's about it then. Don't worry. It's a good old time, isn't it? Great to have you with us. Good hunting to you.
We have to talk to him once, and that will trigger him to move on, and we'll go talk to him again later. He'll be a vendor for us. This is his bodyguard. He's really hard to see. Just like the thief over here. He's really difficult to see him as well. And then the two NPCs that were over here, they don't respawn. But they were very difficult to see as well. That's because they all have what's called a ring of fog. If you use the ring and kill 3 invaders, Alvina will give you the ring of fog. You can also trade with Snuggly, the skull lantern. I will show you how to get back there later to trade with Snuggly. But there, you just trade the skull lantern, which we still need for this playthrough. Then you'll get a ring of fog. Also, this guy has a ring that a lot of people like. It gives you additional iframes when you roll, but you still have to be under quarter weight. So we're not even close to that. So we'll take care of him later. But let's press on through the level. There's really not a whole lot more to it. We just come through here, down here, and then around this corner here is the treasure chest. And we get all that armor that those stone giants were wearing in the other part of the forest. It's not upgradable. However, let's compare the chest piece to Havel's. It's almost as good. As you can see, the strike and the lightning defense are a little bit better. The poison resist is a little bit better. It's almost as good, but we would save 2 pounds on it. Neither of these are upgradable, though, so we have to keep that in mind for later on as we progress. Now we can come down here, and we see these little mushroom people. They will not aggro us. We can attack them, but they won't attack us at all. But there are these 2 big ones over here. They will attack us. And they have a lot of hit points. But they don't move very fast. So what we'll do is we'll bait an attack, and then back off. Bait an attack, and then attack. Sometimes they do have a combo. And they drop gold pine resin very often. They do respawn, so they're farmable. That one I kind of just rushed him a little bit. Alright, but what's in here is the enchanted ember. And if we look at it, it will allow us to take a +5 weapon to be enchanted. It's just an additional magical bonus, like any other enchantment. We aren't going to use it because that would make it scale with intelligence, which we have, I think, about 9. Yeah, we have 9, so that wouldn't be very good for us. We can come over here to this area, and you can see there's an item down there. You can see that giant cat. We can fight them. They give us about 1,000 souls each, but they don't drop anything that I've ever seen. And there are actually 3 of them. You can see one of them there, and then you can just see the other one through the leaves there. So we could fight these guys, but we don't need to get that item. So there's really no need for us to do so. Perhaps if you're feeling confident, go ahead, but there are 2 ways to do it that make it much easier. Fighting them out in the open is not recommended because they have a rush attack, but if you stay close to the edge of these trees, they can't fit between the trees. And the other thing is, at the other end there is kind of a ramp like area like this. If you stay lower than them on the ramp, they generally can't hit you. And the same thing that we were doing against in Anne Orlando when we were fighting the gargoyle. So we're gonna head over here. And this is the boss room. This is why we went through all of the DLC before. Because there's a different cutscene with this boss now. Another thing that we could have done earlier, if you prefer... I don't have the Lucerne. But if you prefer weapons that have thrust attack, like the Dark Silver Tracer, it'll actually increase... Well, let me go get it. But it'll increase your counterattack damage. You can get this without triggering the boss. All you have to do is stay away from that big sword over there. And then you just come around behind here and grab it. And it's the Hornet Ring. So we're just going to look at it real quick, just so that I can show you. These are the 4 rings of the Knights of Artorias, by the way. So it boosts critical attacks only for thrust weapons, I'm sorry. Let's drop that. So let's go ahead and do the boss fight now. He recognizes us from the fight with Manus. So he's not fighting us out of aggression now. In the original cutscene, he fights you out. He aggressively attacks you. In this cutscene now, he's fighting you to try to protect you so that you don't enter. So you don't enter the abyss. As you can see, we do decent damage to him right now. Try to stay under him. Keep your shield up. So we're just going to trade that blow. Shield up. Try to stay under him. As his health gets lower, you'll see that he moves much slower. Oh, I thought we had him. Okay, one more try. I'll cut out the run back. Alright everybody, let's try this again. This time I will keep my guard up. As you can see, there's no cutscene. Just want to block and then counterattack. If you stay under him, it's really hard for him to hurt you. As you can see, we're getting stuck on those stones though. We're gonna back up. Give ourselves a little bit of room. Now watch how he moves now. See how he starts limping? He can't move as fast. He's still dangerous to us, obviously, but he's slower and it's easier to break his poise. And we got our humanity and we recovered everything. And he's worth 40,000 souls. Alright, from here we've got another boss that I want to take care of in this episode. So I'm going to cut out a lot of running and I'll meet you back in Firelink. Alright, we are back in Firelink. And I took a detour and I bought a whole bunch of Twinkling Titanite. Because we can't use the armor that we have down here where we're going. So what I'm going to do is, these legs are 5. This is Kieran's legs. And these are 6.9. For almost twice as much poise. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to upgrade Kieran's armor. I'm not going to worry about the mask, but I am going to do the chest and the hands and the legs. And we'll see how much weight we're at. Since it takes Twinkling Titanite, it takes 10 Twinkling Titanite to get it up to +5, which is as high as we can go. So let's start with the chest piece. As you can see, it's still slightly less than half, or slightly more than half on the physical defense, but the rest of the defenses are close. They're a little bit lower, but they're pretty close. So if we equip that, we're at 37.9. What we're going to do is we're going to drop Havel's ring, and we're going to go for the ring of steel protection, and that'll give us additional physical defense. We're going to go for, actually that'll get us below half, so we can stick with mid-roll for now. I wonder if we did the boots and the arms, would that help us? I'll stick with the 54 poise for now. However, just out of curiosity, 5 pounds. Let's use the chest piece of favor instead. And we've got that to +5, so what we're going to do is equip that, and if you look at it, comparatively, physically, it's better than the Lord Blade Robe. However, magic defense, the Lord Blade Robe wins, and obviously in weight. If you look at Havel's pretty much wins overall. However, we're doing it for about half of the weight. So, we're still at mid-roll, so let's stick with that. What we're going to do now, and you'll also see that because we switched to the other ring, you'll see that we didn't really give up a whole lot of physical defense. Whereas, if we put on Havel's, and go back to Havel's ring here, we're at 368. So we actually gained some physical defense by doing that. Even though this says that it's lower. Using our rings and our armor intelligently allows us to do that. Next, I want to look at the gauntlets of favor. Are significantly lighter. However, I think we'll stick with these for now. Let me see. How much twinkling do we have? I've got enough to do one more piece. So let me look at... That's 8 versus 11. Let's go with these. We'll upgrade our legs also. There's no bonus to having pieces of all the same pieces of the same armor. However, some people like to use certain ones over others. So let's equip these. As you can see, we do lose a little bit. However, we gain the weight. So what that means is we've got a little bit more room to play with if we need to equip items. We lost 11 physical defense. But let's stick with the Guardian leggings for now because there's no real difference. If we have an issue with movement, we'll switch to a lighter pair of legs later. Probably gauntlets as well. The next thing we want to do is we want to go and reverse our hollowing. And that'll give up 1 humanity. So we're down to 95 soft humanity, which should be fine for us. And let's just head down here. I'm going to show you the farming run that I do real quick, and then after that we'll go after the boss. Trying to think. I think that we have one blob that we still have to kill. And I'm going to try to summon the NPC, but usually the NPC is more of a hindrance than a help in this fight. But we'll see. I always send it back up because I can homeward bone. If you die, you're going to end up going back to Firelink, or you can homeward bone back to Firelink. There are no bonfires down here. So overall, this is a quick run, but this is how I farm. So in that vein, let's switch to our covetous gold serpent ring and hope we get lucky on a couple of maybe a titanite slab. I know we should get some chunks at least. So we already cleared most of this out. We've drained the water. Now all we have to do is we're just going to sprint over this way around these ghosts, and they're not going to follow us after we get over to here. And then we just fall down here and down, and here we are. So there's the first dark wraith. Always hold your shield up just in case. We're doing 705 damage, which is just not quite enough for us to get the overkill, but that's okay. As you'll recall, in that treasure chest there is also another chunk. And then from here we'll run over here. Shield up, circle, and backstab. These chunks are great. Even if you don't need chunks, but you need large shards, you can actually go up to Frampton, feed them to him, and he'll break them down. So we'll just go over here. There are 4 over here. You'll run around the corner and run back. And wait in here. Shield up, circle, backstab. Usually if you run towards them as they're running towards you, you can bait that attack. It doesn't happen every single time. But we'll go over here. Well, that was a one hit. That's nice. We get this guy. And sometimes that guy has pathing issues, which makes it much easier to circle around him and backstab. This one isn't even looking at us. And when they do that, you actually want to kind of be off of their shoulder rather than directly behind them when you go for the backstab. And there's one more guy out here that I like to get when I'm farming. No worries. Sometimes you get lucky and you're able to hit him without him hitting you. Now we'll head over here. And there are 2 more dark wraiths that we need to kill. And actually we have to worry about a couple of ghosts now. So normally I don't fight the ghosts, I just run away and let them reset. when I'm farming. However, in order to get through this part, you don't need to kill them, but it makes life easier when you go for the boss, especially if you summon the NPC. Once in a while you get both of them to come down, but it looks like we just got the one this time. So we'll sprint back down here. As you can see that there are the ghosts. And when they do that combo, you just have to... You see how I was actually behind him? It looked like that time, but I didn't get the backstab. So when they do that combo, just keep your shield up and continue to circle them. Since we're down the steps, he can't hit us. But the ghost can. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to use one of our transient curses. No need to put them in a quick slot. Because they both just got killed real easily. Careful for those guys. They do a decent amount of damage. And they also have a great knockback. So if you get hit by them while you're fighting somebody in front of one of the dark wraiths, life gets interesting real fast. Here's another Titanite chunk for us. And when we come around this corner, there's actually another dark wraith waiting over in the shadows there. Alright. And this witch Beatrice, you'll probably remember that she helped us with the moonlight butterfly. Go ahead and top ourselves off. Also, we're going to change our ring now so that we don't forget. We need the Covenant of Artorias on for this boss fight or we die. And there's Beatrice. So this ghost just kind of hangs out up there, and if you don't kill the ghost, Beatrice will just sit there and try to. You can jump down through the middle from here, however, there's a chance you'll hit one of the platforms partway down. So what we'll do is, here's the platform. What we'll do is we'll actually run down to the bottom. And this whole fight is a DPS race, so you want to maximize all of your damage that you can. Hopefully, since we'll be right in it, Beatrice will be a bigger help than usual. Normally I try to take these guys out from range. Here she is. Okay. If you don't have your ring on here, this part you will die from. Otherwise, we take no damage. Alright, this is the boss fight. It is terrible if you're trying to see anything. You can't gauge distance. Oh. And there we are in the grab attack. That will steal a humanity from you as well. what you want to do is you actually want to kill this one just in time for that one to come. Now the boss name is Four Kings, but really if you do enough damage, you only have to kill 2 or 3 kings. So we've gotten all that done, and there's our next king. Uh-oh. Stealing another humanity from us. So by staying close... Oh, man. They usually don't do 2 grab attacks that close together. Alright. As soon as he drops Beatrice, we can hack him down. So we are on to the last king. As you can see, their health is almost done. We just have to get a couple more hits in, and we're done. So Beatrice was actually very useful in that fight. We no longer have any threat to us from walking around down here in the abyss. If you kill the 4 kings without giving the Lord Vessel to Frant, his brother Kath will appear down here and offer for you to join the Dark Wraith Covenant. But we're gonna rest here, and we're gonna warp back up to Firelink, and we're gonna call it here for this episode. Thank you so much. Once again, I'm Funzyr, and this is my beginner's guide to Dark Souls. I'm hoping that by watching this, some people can get interested, maybe restart. People that are having trouble can learn how to do some of these fights without worrying and being too worried about it. But in the end, you just have to be willing to die once or twice on occasion just to learn. Anyway, thank you all for coming along, and I'll see you on the next episode.